welcome back, listeners, to the Pleasure Principles podcast, where we explore intimacy, emotional intelligence, and the deeper science of connection. I'm your host, Sana, and today's episode is for anyone who's ever asked, why do I keep ending up with the wrong person? Or is there a way to know they're right before we even meet? And our guest today is someone who's reimagining the way we love from the ground up. Listeners, meet Desiree Calvin Lawrence. He's a visionary entrepreneur, author of 4 transformative books, and the creator of HeartLib and My Real Lover Academy. Now, Desiree isn't about, selling fairy tales or dating gimmicks like you usually see. He has built the KNCSR model, which is a scientifically grounded, data-driven approach deciphering the deep, often hidden dynamics that make relationships thrive. And yes, it goes way beyond the chemistry, listeners. As someone who has always been fascinated by the tension between fate and free will and love, and as a host who has personally questioned why we invest so much time in trial and error, I am so ready for this conversation, listeners, and I hope you all are. So let's quickly dive in because your perfect match might be closer than you think. So, with that, Desiree, welcome to the show, and it's such a pleasure having you with us.
Thank you so much, Sana, for having me. Truly appreciate the opportunity and for the warm introduction. Thank you very much.
Lovely, lovely. Desiree, so before even we jump on to talking about your work at HeartLib, the KNCSR model, what exactly brought you to this world of scientifically and spiritually kind of understanding the dynamics behind relationships, love?
Well, I believe my journey started way back, probably over 20 years ago. I'm a avid learner. I try to
Okay.
learn as much as I can about any subject. So if you talk about cards, if you talk about apps, if you talk about coding, whatever
Mm.
you can think of can that inspires learning, I try to take advantage of it. However, one of the few things that eluded me in my life was understanding relationships because I was capable of attracting people to me quite easily, but I was trying to find a way to make sure I picked out the right person for me, not just meeting people and just getting going out with them or just that was not my main focus. My focus was being with the right person. And what I realized was every time I took that chance to be with the right person, it just didn't work out the way I thought. So I started asking the question,
Mhm.
is there something deeper to this science? And that's how I started doing my research. So I before that time I'd written quite a number of books. But when I started seriously getting seriously interested in this, I said, before I invest my life in a relationship that's going to be for the rest of my life, or at least for a long time, before I really invest my time with somebody, is
Mhm.
there a way to make sure I know what I am doing before I get into it? And that's what took me to the steps of research and going into the depths of the database behind relationships and finding everything I could find on relationships. And by the time I was done, I'd created an app, had access documents that allowed me to actually pinpoint every relationship that you can think of on the planet. That means if you actually had somebody you knew right now, I could tell you
Mhm.
exactly what is taking place in that relationship with that person. And being able to know exactly who is right for you before you even get into that relationship became something that I used to find my own love right now. The love in my life was knowing that this will be the person for me. So that means I knew it. before I actually got involved with that person. And I've helped quite a number of people to actually understand their relationships before they get into it in the first place. But they say, let me get into this. I said, before you get into this relationship, let me see the database on this. Let me see the relationship dynamics on this. And I know exactly how it will play out, whether it's made for love, whether it's made for friendship, whether it's made for business, or whether it's made for something even more heartbreaking than you think. And I take that out. And then there's a whole lot more to the science when it comes to the something I call the attraction quotient, something I call the quotient magnet, the quotient magnet. And
Mhm.
I could go on and on about this, but it helps me pinpoint exactly who is right for you. And I give you the case studies about that relationship long before you know, before you get involved. So you know what you're getting involved with before you ever get involved with it. It's very powerful. Before your first date, you will know who you're dealing with before you actually go the distance with them. You know, and you can say, yes, I'm ready to go for this relationship. So it's the combination of science and data, bringing it together, bringing science and faith together in a way where you go the distance, knowing that this will be the picture that is going to unfold down the line. So I know I've said a lot, but
Uh, so
that's
many
the
questions.
that's a nutshell what we do. You know.
Hmm. Now, I've had so many questions, especially, at that point when um, you decided to dedicate your time, your energy, resources on researching about this from your own journey.
Yeah.
So often when and I'm not just talking about romantic relationships, but any kind of relationships,
Yeah.
betrayal or arguments or not getting aligned on a specific stuff. It is so much common, and often it takes us inside into that vicious loop of thinking that why do I keep ending up with always this kind of situation? So
Yeah.
before even getting into the research, did you try to understand what was the root cause? Was there a fault in within you, or this was something that you didn't even know and you had to study about this?
Okay. So the the beautiful thing about relationships is there's something called a quotient magnet. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I say quotient magnet is a number magnet, it's an alignment in numbers within you based on your profile. There's a number magnet within you right now that automatically aligns you to somebody else. So you might be automatically attracted to somebody and you don't know why that is the case, but it's a number quotient. But the problem with the number quotient is when you are so aligned with this person, there's this instant attraction based on the number quotient. The case study behind that number quotient is not good. It's not a good case study. So every relationship on the planet has a case study behind it, has a profile case study, a dynamic case study that goes behind that relationship. And if your numbers are so compatible, the numbers between both of you are so compatible, that is the number quotient. You might be so attractive to the person, but the relationship become is very toxic because of the case study behind it. So people will be like, oh yes, I don't know what makes me want to just talk to him. But
Yep.
your relationship is so toxic, so detrimental to the self-worth, to the mental, and you don't know what it is. But it's the case study behind that relationship is not good. Whereas there's another factor within that same person they can meet somebody right now is perfect connection. And the case study is also perfect. And that's what we call the KNCSR model for perfection, because we that is what we do. We combine not just the number quotient for magnetic compatibility, but we get
Mhm.
the case study. that is the most compatible for you, the best profession. And if you're talking about business, we can choose business. If you're talking about marriage, we can get marriage. If you're talking about love, we can get love because those two things are different. Love could be fleeting, could be just love could be something where it's just relaxed and whatnot. Marriage is something that at the end of the day, you have to invest in a sense of ownership. It's so strategic. So if you talk about love and marriage, the combination of all this, everything, if we wanted to pull that off for the right relationship, we can do it simply based on the case studies and the magnetic numbers, which we call the KMCSR model for perfection in love. We do it very well. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing it for a lot of people. You go to on my site, you see a lot of people that have been blown away by exactly how we can pinpoint every relationship they've been in, and we tell them exactly what took place in that relationship, and they're just like, "Whoa, I don't know how you figured this out." And this is how we know before you actually get into a relationship what we are putting you into, we're guiding you into, so that you know, yes, this is what I want. This is the kind of relationship I want before you ever get into it. And it's so powerful. It's mind blowing, Sana. It is completely mind blowing.
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And does it how what makes the KN CSR model different from the Bumbles or the Tinders of today? I mean, the typical swipe left and swipe right approach.
Okay. You see, most people approach love as a numbers game.
Mhm.
Keep dating, keep trying, and hopefully you will stumble upon the one, that one that is, that will just change your life. You know what I mean? That makes you feel the butterflies.
Yep.
But what if I told you that it's like throwing darts in the dark, hoping to hit a bullseye? You like throwing these darts, say, yes, hopefully it hits the bullseye. That's
Mhm.
exactly what you're doing. What HeartLib does is we remove the guesswork by combining deep psychological compatibility analysis with real world case studies. So, the real world case studies we're talking about is what actually happens in every relationship known on the planet. So every one of you, every one of us have a relationship dynamic, and it shows us exactly how our relationship unfolds with somebody else. We have that database, we have everything to show you exactly how your relationship will turn out with anybody. So the KNCRSL model we develop doesn't just look at surface level traits like, hobbies, interests, but it
Mhm.
goes deeper into what actually sustains relationships over time, like core values, emotional intelligence, long term vision, the unspoken nuances that make two people fit effortlessly together, if I can put it that way. Something that when you meet the person, yes, this feels right. We actually try to make sure that is how we match you. So at HeartLib, we don't just play the match like, oh, he loves reading books, he loves watching comics. No, that's not what we do. We find your right match, the one that historically, over time, over history, has proven to be your best match. The one who understands you at a fundamental level. The one who will bring out the best in you. And most importantly, the one who will bring you the happiness that lasts. That is what we do with HeartLib. Exactly what we do, 100%. We don't say this, but we guarantee it because by the time we actually give you your match, it is the best match because that is why we guarantee we show you the person before you actually meet the person. We show you the report about what the person will be, and we will show you exactly how to find this person in the real world. And that's what we do.
Absolutely. And that is, I really love that because what you are offering, Desiree, it feels like an emotional um, architecture, like blueprints, not butterflies. So that's
Exactly.
really, really, exciting and interesting. And
Exactly.
can you also walk us through one or maybe more than one real life example where KNCSR changed the outcome of a relationship?
I could go on and on and on, but the best way I can do this is just go just go just go to HeartLib.us. I mean, you will see you will see testimonials and people talking about this and talking about how it has shown them exactly how it works. I break it down in HeartLib.us. That means you go to HeartLib.us slash HeartLib.us. Yes, HeartLib.us. That's just go to HeartLib.us. When you go there, you see some of my presenters who actually presents the whole case behind HeartLib. You will see a pop-up video and you just watch it and you have a complete understanding. We break it down completely for you because people, this is not like a fly by night. This is not um describe who you are, describe your likes or whatnot. This is not just, it's not a, it's not a website. Even though we have an app, we actually have an app that allows you to actually see the systems that we use with this. And in that app, what you find out is the number magnets that we use to actually find you your perfect case study, because we go use that numbers to find your case study and we can find you the best compatible match anytime, anywhere, in business, in love, in family, what in friendships, whatever you can think of, we can find you your best match. So this is HeartLib.us just gives you a good understanding. You can go there, find the testimonials. It will blow your mind. The kind of things that people have experienced just with the HeartLib system. So yeah, and we have an educational system as well. We have the academy. Yeah, we have a lot that we
Yeah.
can go on. We have the academy that gives you like instructions, guides you. It's not cheap, but at the end of the day, it's something where, because we know we're doing this, it changes lives. People spend $100,000 to get a marriage, get their marriage going, and at the end of the day, w- are they with the right person? Would you invest and get the right person before you spend $100,000 on a marriage or on a wedding and a whole everything? Invite everybody all around the world. Is it wise to invest a little bit before you do all that and knowing that you're with the right person, or actually finding the right person before you do all that? So that's what we do. We just make sure you do it right before you even get into anything that you choose to get into when it comes to love. Very important. A lot of heartaches, breaks, a lot of, think about it. It's not a very easy world when you're in the wrong relationship. It's not a very exciting place to be.
Yeah, yeah, true. I completely agree. And when you mention about the magnet, quotient magnet, one of the biggest myths about love is that opposites attract. But
Yes.
does your research support that, or is it more nuanced?
Okay. So instant attraction isn't random. It follows a pattern, a formula embedded in human nature. The number magnet philosophy we're talking about is built on the idea that every person emits a specific attraction frequency, like a signal, and certain individuals are naturally pulled into alignment with that signal. So Sana right now has a signal that emits from her based on specific data that is unique to Sana.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it like the magnet forces in physics. Some
Mm-hmm.
people, some people's energies just click, negative, positive. But most people don't know how to recognize that instant pull, or worse, they mistake temporary infatuation for true compatibility.
Mm.
So you might think you're infatuated, you feel this connection, but it is not true compatibility. That is where people fall in love in instantly on first, and it ends up being a heartbreak like the next couple of weeks, the
Yeah.
worst heartbreak, because it is what we call the number magnets. That is where the number magnets come in, where there's this instant attraction, but the case study, the the historical information about our relationship is not actually good for you. You see what I mean? And
And
and and the KCRSL data, we use specific information based on you as a person. We use specific dates connected to you as a person. And those dates is what we use to create the KNCRSL data. And we find the database. We use our database of all the relationships known that we've ever been able to decode over time. And we say, all right, we know that based on this historical data, this is exactly what you experience in your relationship at any time. Every time you fall into this group of people or this particular cancer cell data of people, this is exactly what you experience.
that is interesting, and that is very
Yeah.
true. I mean, what you mentioned about, sometimes infatuation looks like, yes, I have met my match. This is true love. This is the one. He or she's the one for me. So yeah, I can completely connect with that. And on
Yeah.
the aspect of, since we are on pleasure principles, so how does emotional compatibility enhance physical connection and intimacy? I mean, does K and CSR address that?
So, so how does emotional
Compatibility.
compatible?
Yeah. How does it
So,
enhance physical connection and intimacy?
okay. So when we put together our cancer cell data,
Mm-hmm.
all right, what we're doing is we're finding the best part of the relationship, both emotionally and physically, before we actually um give you the report. So what we do is we go through our database.
Okay.
If we know, if we find out that, let's say, can I use you? Do I have the permission to use you as an example in
Yes,
this?
yes,
Just
please go ahead.
all right. I could say, all right, Santa, based on your relationship database, what we can see in our database is that you have 48 different kinds of relationships you can be involved in. 48 types.
Okay.
We could tell you exactly how every one of them plays out. Sometimes in life, you don't necessarily engage in this relationship unless certain thing brings you together. Even though you might know this person right now, and you might actually know the person that will be your best match. You know them personally, but because circumstances has not brought you together to explore each other as a partner, you don't even know that is your best match. You don't even know. But what we do is we go through your 48 case studies. Everyone on this planet has 48 unique partners. That means there's over close to 2,000 different case studies of different, everyone in a different kind of relationship. I mean, there's a pattern for everyone. So for your physical and emotional relationships, and for those things that are physical, we know the ones that are physical for you, the ones that bring out your emotional vulnerability, the one that makes you that takes advantage of you, the ones that 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 do not embrace your full potential, do not promote your self-esteem. We know those relationships, every last one of them, that 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 either lift you up or pull you down. And it goes in both directions, as in marriage, in business, in love, in friendship. We know the ones that will actually make you a best version of yourself. So that means if I could find somebody, if I go through your database right now, I could tell you, all right, if you meet this person, born on this day, born on this month, born in this year, you will never find somebody. Not that you will never, because I can find you another person again that will love you just like that. But if I found you that person, you will love that person so much that you will not want to be with anybody else. And that person will not want to be with anybody else. But that's because I already know the case study behind this person is one that makes you the apple of their eye. Because I've studied based on the database of relationships all around the world, and this specific relationship, I know this relationship type for you, Sana, will be the best ever that you've ever experienced. And what I do with my students is I give them, after they purchase the system, of course, which they have to do, because these people end up getting married, and of course they're going to end up spending hundreds of thousands, if not thousands of dollars with the right person. They want to know they are with the right person before they get involved with that person. So what we do is we get you your all the options of your best options of people that you can be with in terms of the case studies. And then we'll give you the dates, the months, the days, the year of of who these people are, and we show you how to find them. That means you can be on your dating networks, on your dating apps, if you want to stay on your dating apps. But before you go out with anybody, you just need to know what is you just need to confirm the information that we give you before you say, all right, I'm going out with this person. We can show you how to go on Facebook or any of these networks that you have. You just simply have to get the specific information that we tell you to get. And as long as it aligns with your case studies, you know they're the right people to be with. Because their information, what happens in that relationship, is already going to be described to you before you ever got into the first date with this person. You know, physically, you be the perfect match. Emotionally, you're gonna be the perfect match. They're not gonna be gaslighting you. They're not gonna be, it's not gonna be toxic. They're not gonna be emotionally abusive. You know, this will be like, yes, I feel a connection with this person. I love this person. We relax. Whatever you're looking for, we give you the case study. You choose that person. You say, this is what I want. And you go after the person. But we give you options of who to choose. And you go after the person that you want. But you know that will be the best match for you because we're already giving you the case studies. We look through all the history and find the ones that are the best for you before we actually hand you those best matches. And it's phenomenal. What happens is mind blown after that. You go to HeartLib.us, you see some of these things that we have. It's amazing. It's amazing.
That is really surprising. Really
Yeah.
surprising. 48 and then 2000 different case studies. Numbers are really, really very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we wrap up, Desiree,
Yeah.
of course, if our listeners would like to connect with you, and of course you mentioned the website, but still, if you would like to repeat how they can do that.
So just if you're tired, all right, of searching and want to find a relationship that's truly meant for you, then I really implore you to go to heartlib.us. HEART, heart, LIB.us. and take the first step. Because I know your perfect match isn't a fantasy. It's not something that is like, oh, it's out there. It's some trial and error that you can get to someday that hopefully one day it lands in your feet. It's not trial and error. We show you a proven system to get this person to you. We show you how it's possible to find this person, how you can go in the world and strategically find that perfect match. And it's just one right decision away. That's all. That's all you have to think about when you go to HeartLib.us. It's going to change your world. And I don't want to say guaranteed because you have to put in the work. But yes, we know before you get into the right relationship, we know that this is exactly how it's going to play out. So definitely take advantage of it. And if you're unsure and you're trying to say, I don't know, I wanna know for sure that what you're saying is correct, we will give you a complimentary case study on any relationship you've had in the past that didn't work out. Or even any relationship with somebody that is a friend or somebody you know that you're dealing with. Somebody that you know, just a relationship, any relationship that you're dealing with. We'll give you a case study of how that relationship plays out in your life. And we show you exactly how it is. So that when you decide to invest in your case study for a true partner, somebody that will go the distance with you, you know, we know what we're talking about. When we give you that code study, we tell you this is the date, this is the month, this is the year of the person, and this is what we need you to do to find that person. You know it's your best investment in love, marriage, or business. And that is the best thing I can tell you today. If you've heard me, I really want to help you and just change your world around. So that's what I have to say, Sam. I hope I've not bored you with my details. So
But
yeah,
not at all. I can absolutely, I'm getting the passion and the dedication, the conviction here, because this is not something out of an epiphany or, an observation. It is years and years of research. So thank you so much for this eye-opening conversation, Desiree. You are definitely changing the rules of connection here, and love doesn't have to be a guessing game. So thank you so much.
you're the best, Sandra. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Truly appreciate the opportunity.
And for anyone listening who's tired of repeating old patterns, maybe this is your permission slip to get strategic about your heart. And you can find Digital's work at HeartLib and My Real Lover Academy. Just check out the show notes along with this episode. And because honestly, as I mentioned, this man is changing the rules of connection. Until next time, stay curious, stay soft, and remember the right connection isn't just possible, it is predictable. Thank you.